want to share some thoughts from national media members concerning the University of Tennessee. So there are some that believe that Tennessee is already a national championship contender. There are others that don't. So I want to share with you some of those thoughts, and it's on offthehooksports.com. So first down, those that firmly believe Tennessee is a national championship contender right now. Cooper Mays, what should people do if they want to be a part of the program on a daily basis, weekdays at 10 a.m.?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Thanks, Coop.
Coop here. First down.
All right, here is what John Adams of the Knoxville News-Sentinel had to say. Yes, it's the deepest, most dominant defensive front in the country. Playmakers on offense, including an elite quarterback, but it must stay healthy on the offensive line. Ryan Brown hosted the next round. Yes, they are, but not because of their offense. They finally have a defense to match. While that offense may have struggled to travel in past seasons, the defense will travel. I actually thought Ryan, who was the last to get his line in, may have had the most insightful comment. Caleb, Tennessee can travel with the defense, whereas an offense can, especially that likes to throw the ball like Tennessee does, can get a little off kilter on the road from time to time.
You know, that's a huge point that I didn't even think about, because we've talked about Heupel on the road the last few years. I'm like, oh, it's an issue. Can he do what he needs to do on the road? Well, it's not like the offense really stepped it up on the road this time either. It's just this time the defense actually stepped it up on the road against Oklahoma. So that's the biggest one. You're right. That's when you're at your best, is when your defense. I don't know how many offensive oriented teams are better on the road. That's a great point.
Yep, I agree. Okay, good job, Ryan Brown.
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
Okay, here are a couple of people in addition to John that believe Tennessee can win a national championship this year. Paul Finebaum, ESPN. Have you heard of him? Texted him with the question. He said, absolutely can win. Best UT has looked in a generation. Chuck Oliver, 680 The Fan in Atlanta, hosted the Chuck Oliver Show, which I've sub-hosted a couple times. 100%. Look at where the UT defense was just 2 seasons ago. The transformation of that unit is as big of an on-field story as there is in the game this year. Josh Pate, friend of the program, joined us last week. Quote, you need good quarterback culture play and the ability to be explosive on offense. You need a solid defense and overall team culture. Tennessee has all these things. Therefore, they are a contender to win a title. What do you make of those two comments from some nationally known guys?
Totally agree with all of them. And you're right. And the thing Josh Pate said, that's, I think, what people are forgetting is this defense is still where they are, but they still have the explosive plays in their back pocket. So that's not going anywhere. This isn't like 2005, where I don't think Tennessee had one play go over 40 yards in 2005 on offense. Dave, you probably remember that.
Yep. Okay. A couple of guys that are a little more pessimistic.
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down. All
right. Tyler Ivins of the Sports Animal, who I join on Wednesdays, so that'll be today, depending on when you're watching, said, I had Tennessee 10-2 with the losses to Alabama and Georgia, reaching the first round of the playoffs at the beginning of the season. The Vols will go as far as their offensive line will take them. Great showing with no title. Thoughts on that before we get to Mike Griffith's take from Dog Nation and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution?
I agree with the offensive line part. So the question then does become, do you think the offensive line will be healthy or not as the season goes on? And that goes into the whole question of, would Tennessee rather play 2 games as 17-point favorites in the college football playoff, or just play one as a pick 'em? If you're not deep, that becomes a bigger question.
True. I'm not a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So I'm going to say that Tennessee is going to struggle to be healthy if they've already got issues on the offensive line. However, we'll see what happens with John Campbell Jr. and Lance Hurd and what they're able to do. I will tell you this, that I'm not sold, but I'm half sold on Larry Johnson after going back and looking at the tape. You?
Look, he wasn't the problem on Saturday. I'll say that much.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you can go ahead and say it. I mean, it was Dane Davis was a problem on the left side, and again, Larry Johnson, if he was a problem, that doesn't speak to Larry Johnson's ability or Dane Davis' ability. It just speaks to the fact that they don't yet have the depth of a Georgia or Alabama in its prime. Fair?
Fair. No, I totally agree. That's a big problem too.
I think we're on 4th down, correct?
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
Okay. There's one person who doesn't believe that Tennessee can win a title. Let's get to that. It's brought to you by Work Trucks with an X. If we can pull them up. Work Trucks, man, proud supporter of the Vols. All about trucks that are actually available, trucks that help you maximize your profits by having the right work vehicle now. Time is money. The perfect work vehicle doesn't break down, has all the space to carry what you need. That's what Work Trucks is intent on offering, while other dealerships just can't do it. Contracting is about time. Work Trucks saves you time, less back and forth trips, and trucks that pass the highest standard to be put to work. The process is quick and easy when choosing a vehicle for Work Trucks. Cargo vans, utility body trucks with an app pod, work bodies installed, pickup trucks of all sizes, and anything special like cranes or dump trucks. Work Trucks supplies vehicles to people just like you and get you back on the road tomorrow. If you're a contractor, you don't need the dealership runaround. You need Work Trucks with an X. That's a fact. Service industry Work Trucks with an X. That's a fact. Work Trucks carries the trucks that your business has to have. Clinton Highway, in Knoxville, in downtown Birmingham. You need Work Trucks for the entire inventory. Go online. You can see it right there. WorkTrucksLLC.com. Why risk chancing your future in business on a wrong piece of equipment that burns your time? WorkTrucksLLC.com. They'll find a perfect truck, outfit it, make sure it fits your need to a T. Work Trucks with an X, LLC.com. Proud supporter of the Tennessee Vols. So here's what Will West had to say, and we'll ask him about this more tomorrow. Will said Tennessee isn't there yet. The offensive line was exposed a bit against Oklahoma. Understatement. Part of that is because of the injuries at tackle, but they would have to play better 3-5 defensive fronts than Oklahoma's through the rest of the season and the playoffs in order to win a championship. So he says Tennessee isn't there yet. How close are they if Will's correct, Caleb?
I disagree. They're not going to play that many better 3-5 defensive fronts than Oklahoma's. Whatever else you think about Oklahoma, that defensive front is really good, and it had been grading high throughout the year. It was their offense that was the problem. And so I don't even know if Alabama's defensive front is as good as Oklahoma's. Now, they're better in the secondary, probably. They have a much better offense. They're better all around, but I'm gonna break from Will on that because I actually think Oklahoma's defensive front may be the best Tennessee's going to face all year.
Okay, let's put on the poll. Did Caleb Calhoun just call Will West an idiot? No, he didn't. I did not. All right, so Lane Kiffin, of all people, takes a shot at Hugh Freeze. I want to get to that here momentarily. But first, I think, and if you check out the story, which is on offthehooksports.com, the fact that, let's take, to me, the one that stood out, and I'm curious which one stood out to you, but two stood out to me, that John Adams has thought for more than a week or two that Tennessee was a true national championship contender. John is thought of as what? One of the most pessimistic people that cover Tennessee football. I don't think that's the case, but that's what you think. That's fine. He's nice enough to join us each and every Tuesday. I think John's very high on this coaching staff. And then you have Josh Pate, who did bring up culture, which is a word that Caleb's coming around to. Josh Pate has no reason to give us any kind of fluff or prop himself up to Tennessee's fan base. That's what he believes. And he said it even before I queried him about this specific question.
Yes. And you're right. Josh Pate himself he picked Florida to beat Tennessee last year. Nailed it. I thought he was crazy. And then Florida ended up beating Tennessee. And so you're right. A lot of these people, they don't have an incentive to be high on Tennessee as national title contenders. Now, I will say this. The college football landscape and the college football media, you want Tennessee in the mix. The online presence of Tennessee fans is just too great, honestly. It's if you guys throughout Tennessee's time on throughout the SEC on CBS era, during the decade of dysfunction, if you guys really listen to Vern Lundquist and Gary Danielson, and you can feel however you want to feel about the broadcasters, I think they sometimes get more hate than they deserve, but
Agreed.
That's just me. Gary desperately wanted he desperately always wanted Tennessee to be back. And he would constantly hint at that. And he finally got his chance to see them back in 2022 too got a taste of it in 2016, but that's because broadcasters know it's good for ratings, it's good for revenue, it's good for the sport, it's good for everybody involved when Tennessee is relevant. It just is.
I agree. On the flip side, he hates the RPO game. He's the first person I've ever heard use the word bastardize. He said RPO is bastardizing the game. And he's probably right, because offensive linemen on a pass play are allowed to just run down the field as far as they want to. The rule is supposed to be 3 yards, but how many times do you see guys that are 6, 7, 8 yards down?
No, you're right. It's true. That's actually a very funny. It's a very good point. To me, that rule is always like a soccer rule, though. You like in soccer how defenders can't get past how players can't get past the defense unless the ball's on the other side of the field, something like that.
Yes,
I think that's stupid. Get rid of the offside penalty.